share that lovely stretch routine, to help you go all the way to your elastic limit for your flexible body, a healthy one indeed. Today will be very educating on the show. I do say so myself. We'll educate and inform you today if you stay with us. For now, we'll bring you the quotes for the morning. There you have them, quotes for life, and it's the Friday edition of Good Morning Abuja. So thank God it's Friday. We are excited, and of course, because the new month is upon us, and we look forward to all the opportunity that it will unfold. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will get into the nitty-gritty of our discussions for the day.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
With the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday.
The general medical practitioner. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell us what usually makes malaria transmission heavy during the rainy season.
I would contribute it mostly to our environment. I think we need to have a proper understanding of how we can reduce the breeding of mosquitoes in our environment, mainly by proper swamp drainages. Usually we have puddles and stuff on the road, in the houses. We can fill them up with sand to avoid breathing on the waters. Also, long sleeves. Wearing long sleeves all the time would help since it's cooler now. And then also I would think insect repellents, body insect repellents, they are sold everywhere. Also spraying insecticides in and around the house to help these measurements. And also I would say installing screens in living quarters also would help this situation that we have with prevalence of malaria.
So it would seem like the weather, the rains, helps them to come out more.
Breathing, yes. So what we do is make sure the place is not wet, your grass is cut very low, ensure that the environment is very clean.
Okay, so is there any particular population set of that are most vulnerable to these malaria attacks?
So malaria is such a serious infection that it affects over 600,000 people, and it causes about 600,000 deaths in a year, and then mostly 90% from African endemic countries. So it's not just rain, or let's say particularly tiny, but I think
I was actually going to come to resistance to these drugs over time, because like you said, the average person will just say, oh, it's malaria, and we go for the medications. Yes. How do we handle this resistance when it develops over time? Because it seems like you take these anti-malarials and they are no longer working.
They are no longer working because we have overused them. We just assume every single thing starts with malaria first, which is very wrong. How to treat malaria, how to manage malaria is by testing first. And then we have 3 types of testing. We have the PCR, which is checking at a molecular, identifying the parasite at a molecular level. Rapid tests, which just test the sensitivity. And then the thick and thin blood smear, that is the gold standard. Now, this also requires an experienced microscopist so that they can know for sure that it is malaria parasite they see. They have to visualize it because they're used to seeing it. Because nowadays you just go to any pharmacy, and then they say, oh, they do tests. How do you do the test? What is the requirement for the test? You know, you have to find out what they use for your test to say, oh, you have malaria. So proper testing
It's key.
is key.
Talk to me about a mother, for instance, in the rural setting. Apart from the good old mosquito nets, insecticidal nets, what else are some of the measures that she can employ to minimize malaria in the children in the rainy season in the rural area?
Okay, so there's a prevalence of mosquitoes, mostly mornings, early mornings, and then late at dawn. So I would advise whatever the child does to stay in between the time frame, not to go out too early and not to go out too late. And like I said, wearing long sleeves, even socks and proper shoes to avoid insect bites, right? Using body repellents, insecticide repellents that you can use to ward off not just mosquitoes but a lot of insects. Also, the area. So we're used to having, this is Nigeria, we're used to having a lot of sometimes some trash on the road and stuff. So ensure
those in the environment.
Yes, so ensure those areas are clean. Like I said, if there are puddles in the house, try to cover them up with sand to avoid the breeding of those mosquitoes. And then also, like I said, screening of so let's say the entrance of the house, there are proper screening doors that they can install at home to avoid insects, not just mosquitoes, from getting in the house.
All right, there you have it. I've been speaking with Dr. Fatima Salih Hussein. She's a general medical practitioner and she educated on how we can keep malaria prevalence very minimal, especially in the rainy season. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back for the show.